Hey guys, this is Josh Shoemaker and Dan Keenan here again, joined with the latest ball review for the SPI brand, and this time it's going to be for the Rocket AI. So the Rocket AI was another collaboration in the Belmo line. I do think that the last couple of releases in the Belmo line have been a little bit better because I feel like they're kind of catered more to kind of all styles as opposed to just the high rev guys, and I think this also builds off of very well. So same core found in the original Rocket, which is almost 10 years old now, 10, 11 years old at this point. But it has the AI outer core in it, which again, if you're familiar with it, will raise the differential a little bit, lower the RG a little bit, kind of just makes them a little bit more conducive to the heavier amounts of oil that we see now. And also has the A1S Pearl cover, which was originally found on Equinox and has been since featured on a couple other pieces like the High Road 40. So a little bit cleaner, but also still kind of a rounder cover. Definitely not nearly as sideways as R2S Pearl has been. So I've had a chance to actually throw this a decent amount, and I'm a big fan of it now. The colors, I feel like I can see them really well, which is a big thing for me when trying to read ball motion, especially on the tougher patterns. If the swirls on the ball are too bright or too colorful, it's really tough for me to see it. And with this being a darker maroon red and kind of a silvery, I feel like the ball motion-wise is super easy to pick up. Definitely on the cleaner side, but not sideways, which is awesome. So we're on this lane here. It's pretty beat up. Decent amount of open play, and we also just shot a video before this. So I'm kind of going to start in the middle part of the lane. Try to get this going right towards the friction because there is a good amount of carry down in the middle part of the lane. Not that much friction, right? I thought that was actually decent, and that never hooked.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. This is the uncut version.
I'm telling myself, I'm like, all right, we're going to get this one right quick, and I did, and it never hooked. So
I get to follow that up.
Now I'll move two right, and it'll go Brooklyn or something stupid. So
I threw a couple before we turned on the camera. Very surprised. Lost my 9 pin there. Very surprised at how clean this was. Definitely going to need some friction up front. Sorry, I was dropping pins. All right, so based on what Josh did, I'm going to move a little further right than I thought. Let's see what this does.
I was hoping for the 810 on that one, but
I actually caught that, sir.
That one looked good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bump one right with the feet and one left with the eyes and try to shut it down a little bit and see if that looks a little better. There we go. Much better. I didn't think we stretched them that much with the monsoon, but apparently
we did.
So as you can see, that one still got to the friction pretty quick, but it was definitely not sideways off of it. Nice and controlled, which is going to be good when you're on some flatter stuff.
So not a big flaring piece. So my layout is 4 3/4 by 3 by 2.
And then my layout is also pretty similar. It's my standard test layout. It's a 4 1/4 by 3 by 2, which is pretty much what I put on all my first balls I drill. All right, so I'm gonna go back to where I was before on the first shot and just try to slow it down a little bit. Still staying pretty forward. All That one actually picked up from there. I did get a mitt full of that one though.
So I wouldn't call this a quick piece. I wouldn't call it a slow piece. Definitely slower than I thought it would be, which isn't a bad thing. So I'm gonna 9-pin fell again, but we're not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna try and use the friction just a little more here. See how much right we have. So that was probably 2 to 3 right at the break point than what I did on the first 2 shots, and more friction, but it blended it. Good sign.
So I was talking to a couple buddies of mine a few weeks ago when I first drilled it, and I said for the Monsoon, I felt like it was kind of medium, or I feel like they're both, the Monsoon and the Rocket are medium in terms of friction they create on the lane, and I thought that the Monsoon was more closer to medium slow in response time, and then this is like medium quick. But both definitely more on the control side of things as opposed to some stuff like the Typhoon, where I feel like that is fairly quick. So I'll go ahead and move 2 here, still staying pretty forward. All right, that was pretty good. I think just a little far left for this lane, how it's developed so far, but
So I'm
still definitely felt like it slowed down in the right spot.
I'm going to jump and compare it to the Phase 2 Pearl first. I was going to compare it to the Phase 2 Pearl Bionic. My guesstimate would be it would go Bionic, Phase 2 Pearl, and then the Rocket AI as far as choices. Once the lanes start opening up and hooking, Bionic's going to cover more boards. I'm going to go with the Phase 2 is probably going to give me a little more miss room overall. I'm going to move 2 and 1 left. Just to feel it out. Phase 2 Pearl picks up significantly earlier. It was a little soft, my hand too. Yep, definitely soft.
I'll go ahead and just jump in. So I brought a newer IQ Tour here. It's a 2025 one where I feel like they are a little bit more beefed up than the originals. A little bit more cover, but a little less core. So I feel like shape-wise, it's probably going to be fairly comparable. Probably a little bit earlier and going to bail a little bit more down lane. We'll go ahead and stand in the same spot that I washed out on the first shot. Definitely a little bit smoother overall, for sure. I feel like that Rocket would be a good option to go to when you got to get a little bit further left of that IQ. Need something with a little bit more differential.
All right, let me see the Bionic. Let me move a little left off of the. Move 3 left of where I just do that Phase 2. So this is a full, it's about 7 boards more than the Rocket. Yeah. It's kind of what I think there. Bionic's going to cover more boards. Phase 2 Pearl will probably give me a little more miss room left. So it's going to pick up an oil line a little bit better. And I think the Rocket would be when I know I have friction to the right, and that's where I want to miss.
So I'm going to go ahead and move another 3 left here and try to get this one right and rotate it a little bit more. Slow the ball speed down some. Oh, God. Or miss it completely in the water. All right. Axe that shot. No cuts, but we'll cut that one.
All right, I'm going to go couple more of this rocket. That's a ball I'm going to like.
So Dan and I were also talking to. There's a pretty big, I'd say it's a house shot. That's usually put out a little bit something modified, but they're fairly wide open still. Called the Lilac, and this year it's hosting lanes out in Canandaigua, and they are a pretty high friction center over there. So I had a chance to bowl one team set already, and we were getting into some cleaner options by the time Game 3 came around because the lanes had gotten so chewed up. So I think this is going to be a really good option for that tournament, as well as some later blocks and some medium patterns when you got to get left in shape. There you go. So, fell off that one, but I actually got that one where I wanted to, and rotate a little bit more, and you could see it had no problem coming off of it.
So again, for you guys, you know, I know it's tournament season, nationals, all that. Some other, like I said, I think this would be a ball that would be in a 3-ball bag. It would be Rocket, AI, the Bionic, and Phase 2 Pearl would be 3 balls in the bag. Another couple balls I think this would work off of would be the Gremlin Tour X and the regular Gremlin. I just think this would give you just a little more kick than the original Gremlin, just because the original Gremlin is very clean, but it's got that ASIM, so it kind of tends to stand up, where I think where that stands up, this won't, just because of the symmetry. I'm going to bump a couple left here. Let's see what this does.
Hit it. Oh.
All right, so that was a couple left. Just wanted to give you an idea of what, how much area it can have. I think very good ball when I'm playing to the right. Very good ball when there's friction. If the friction has to be to my right, for sure. I don't think it's going to like the oil build up in the middle of the lane as much as, you know, what's where a Bionic or a Phase 2 Pro can handle that. So go to your local VIP Pro Shop and get one today.
All right, catch you guys in the next one.